is Azar Majedi. I'm sure you have followed the news on the mainstream media or on social media to some extent about the events in Iran. It's been an incredible 4 days what's happening in Iran at the moment. But I think it's necessary to also have this discussion here, because what you hear from the mainstream media is not the whole picture. It's either not the whole picture or is a distorted picture of what's going on. French news, like you have the French TV, Al Jazeera, BBC, all those TVs, they have their own vested interest in what's going on. So what you hear is not the truth about what's going on. I'm not saying that I have the whole truth in my hands, but I think as an activist, a long time activist against the Islamic regime, for a better society, for a better world, for a society with freedom, equality, and prosperity for everybody, as a left, as a communist activist who followed the situation, who fought against the Islamic regime for most of their life, I think my picture probably would be more accurate than what you get from the mainstream media. When it started, they tried to tell, well, nothing much has happened, is against the rise in prices. When it started 4 days ago in Mashhad, the second largest city in Iran, which many people say has got very conservative culture because it is one of the religious cities. But we know at the same time, Mashhad is a city that the mullahs, the regime, have turned it into a very official brothel for people coming from neighboring countries, men coming from neighboring countries, having a few days of good time, they come to Mashhad. It's a very, very open brothel right there, which is run by the regime, by the mullahs, and actually by the authorities who look after the shrine in Mashhad. Started against the high prices, but very quickly, the slogans against the regime started. We're talking 4 days ago. So today is 1st of January, you have 28th of December, it started in Mashhad, very quickly spread to the cities around, close to Mashhad, like Birjan, Neyshabur. They said also, yes, there are these big cities. And then we went to Kermanshah, which became very huge, and slogans against the whole regime was heard, and they said it became violent. And that's the picture, the clip you see on TVs for the first 2-3 days was the clip from Kermanshah. And one of the, but very quickly, I mean, I have seen another revolution in my life, 1979. And I've seen how things spread quickly. I've seen how people come and then you can even smell in the air that this is not like usual time. This the way people move, the way people shout, the slogans, it's not the same. It's not the same as any ordinary protest that you might come for 2 days and go. You can feel it in the air. This is how we felt it in the air in 1979, and this time it's going so quickly that's taken everybody, not only the regime, not the mainstream media, international media. Everybody was surprised. Everybody was shocked, and us who fought against this regime for decades. in great deal of excitement. Great deal of excitement that we see how people have come to the street, how militantly they walk, protest, and shout slogans against the whole regime. Whole regime. This is the key. Why? Because they've tried for the past 25 years to tell us that Islamic regime is just got two factions. There is the so-called reformist faction and a hardline faction. And these two factions are fighting against each other, and people want the reformists. It used to be Khatami, then became Rouhani, became Mousavi, who was green, and then became violet, lilac, all these colors. But this is not the case. This is that half-truth and distorted truth that all the medias and all the pundits they bring from different universities of the world, the academia who comes and tries to give you the analysis of what's happening. Their narrative is distorted narrative of what's going on. They want to tell you that people want the reformists, but the hardliners or the pastorans are the ones that don't let it. People are against the Islamic regime, the whole, and that's why the word the whole is important when you think about the Iranian situation, the political situation in Iran. People are against this regime from every aspect you look at it. Economically, they're against it because now the big majority of people in Iran live under the poverty line. And the poverty line in Iran is very different. It's real poverty. And the workers' wages is 5 times below the poverty line. The teachers, same. Nurses, same. And in the past few years, we've witnessed many strikes, protests, and sit-ins by different workers from different factories, industrial centers, by teachers all over the country, by nurses all over the country, by pensioners. Just the week before these protests, pensioners were demonstrating in front of Parliament in Tehran. A huge number of pensioners had come to ask for their rights. The pension they get is poverty line, below poverty line. And sometimes they don't even get it on time. You know why? Because there is a big rumor that the pension fund is being emptied by all these thieves, corrupt people who are running the country. The money in the banks are emptied by all those thieves and corrupt authorities who've taken the money and left the country. The bank, all of these people, from Khamenei, his son, Rouhani, his family, Larijani, all these big shots, they all have bank accounts in Indonesia, in Japan, in England, in US, in Canada, maybe not US, in Canada, and they've taken millions and millions and millions of dollars out of the country, put it in their bank accounts. And people are going hungry. You see workers whose wage is 5 times below the poverty line has not been paid for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 8 months. The rate of accidents, work accidents is so high in mines, in factories, in construction work. Every day, some workers are injured, killed, disabled. Prostitution is just so rampant in the country, and that's pure poverty that's pushing women and some young men into prostitution because they have no other way to survive. They have no other way to feed their children. Drug addiction is so rampant. And you know who's the main smuggler? Pastorals. And everyone knows that. So economically, socially, people are against it. Politically, censorship, dictatorship, oppression. People can talk, they cannot strike, they cannot protest, put them in jail. And culturally. That's another main point when you talk about Iran. People in Iran are not Islamists. People in Iran want to live their life without imposition of religion. Women do not want to be forced under the Islamic veil. They do not want to live in a society with gender apartheid. Neither women nor men. It's not only the question of women's freedom in Iran. Actually, is not only women's question. It's the whole society's question. The Islamic veil, which has become the Islamic banner, the banner of jihadism and Islamic terrorism that started with the Islamic regime, is hated in Iran. One of the very, very interesting and characteristic protests in Iran was just happened either today or yesterday. The video is on my Facebook. You can see it on my Facebook page. I've shared it. Is in Iraq, a big industrial city very close to Tehran. There is this regime's Basij or somebody sent by the regime in a car with four or five big loudspeakers shouting Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, asking people to shout Allah Akbar, telling them because of the martyrs of the war, martyrs of that, and they're begging people to shout Allah Akbar. And you know what people do? They boo. They booed Allah Akbar. And then they started throwing offensive words at that man. And then they all go to the car. And then at the end of the clip, you cannot see the car anymore. And now the sound of Allah Akbar is buried under people's shouts. This is what Iran is talking about now. This is what people of Iran want. They do not want the Islamic regime, as they've shouted in these slogans. Death to the Islamic regime. Death to Khamenei and Rouhani. That means both factions. They want freedom, they want equality, they want a prosperous life. They're sick and tired of poverty, of oppression, of censorship, of Islamic rules, Islamic superstitions. You want blasphemy? Go to Iran now. That's where you get it. Booing Allah Akbar in Iran. You have to see that as a new page in the Middle East. A new page in the Middle East that's going to see the Islamic movement, Islamic terrorism and jihadism buried. This movement has started. We hope with all our heart that is going to be successful, victorious. Could pull down this regime, could bring about people's rule, councils, freedom, equality and prosperity to the country, get rid of the Islamic movement, kill one of the main forces behind Islamic movement in the region and in the world. And open its doors to all freedom-loving people. This is what we hope. This is what people want. So all of you who are listening to me, support this movement. Support this movement and spread the news. Spread the real news, not the distorted news of French TV who's worried about all the total investment, and they're trying to say, well, they don't want violence, so that's why they blocked the internet because violence is spreading, or BBC another way, or Al Jazeera another way, or US for that matter. People of Iran have raised against this regime, are marching on the streets of Iran, shouting, Islamic, we don't want Islamic regime, death to Khamenei and Rouhani, and burning the Islamic regime flags, burning the pictures of Khomeini and Rouhani. They're telling with all their heart and mind what they want. We should support this movement. We should spread the news of this movement. We should have our eyes open to what's going on. This is a movement by the people against oppression, against tyranny, against poverty, for freedom, equality, and prosperity, and a better world. Thanks.